Chapter 21, Episode 8. Where do you get your salt? Grandpa would buy that. My neighbour gives me a few things like salt and oil when I take him a fish or some eggs. You have a neighbour? Hank is just up the road or over the hill. He was a good friend of Grandpa. We can meet him. He loves to have visitors, especially if they like to listen to his stories. I can't imagine life without going to the store. Even without a garden or Hank, I would find enough food. I could collect salt off the road in winter. I could make oil for the lamp. Grandpa taught me where to find food. The garden gives us more than enough. Grandma and I bottled so many things every fall to get us through the winter. Like the pilgrims. Artemis opened the door in the floor of the kitchen and lit an oil lamp. Karla followed her into the cold room. There isn't so much left now other than what's been bottled. What's in these? Mix of tomato, hot pepper, onion and garlic. In these? Applesauce. And where does this lead to? This is where we keep the vegetables that need to stay cold and moist. Karla followed Artemis into the root cellar. At first look it revealed deep shelves of wood shavings. Artemis stuck her hand into some shavings and pulled out an apple. She handed it to Karla. We have a few turnips still, potatoes and carrots, and a few beets. Artemis collected some carrots and potatoes and handed them to Karla. She took a bottle of Grandma's tomato sauce and they went back up to the kitchen. Do you prefer squirrel, dove, quail, wild turkey, frogs, lizards, grubs, ants, or fish for dinner? Squirrel. Really? No, I don't want to eat a squirrel, ever. Wouldn't be my first choice. A lot of work for a little meat. Have you ever eaten one? No, they really are too small. I like fish, I guess. We had fish yesterday. How about we find a fat bird? There are lots of grouse. I ain't cleaning it. I'll show you how. It isn't that hard. No, for you. I come from buy your meat ready for the grill or pan land. You managed the fish yesterday. I was trying to impress you with how brave I am. I was faking it. Artemis laughed. I'll claim the bird if we get one. Karla had watched Artemis catch fish often enough, but had never seen her hunt anything. She found it a bit scary, but she knew bacon was scarier, especially if the environmental destruction was factored in. The terror of the pigs, the hormones and the antibiotics. The whole thing was a real horror show. Unfortunately, not everyone could go out to shoot their food. Not a city thing. Artemis was lucky to have a garden and a hunting ground. Artemis had fields, woods and a small river. For most people, that was history. Artemis always took knives. She had a knife belt around both legs of her short leather pants and on her long leather pants for her throwing knives. She kept 2 other knives in her vest. For a bird, she was most likely to succeed with her bow and arrows. Karla declined when asked if she wanted to take a bow. I don't see me ever shooting a bird. Karla tried to walk as quietly as Artemis, but it was a talent she hadn't quite mastered. Artemis seemed to walk just above the earth with her barefoot dancing motion. She never made a sound. Karla was getting better at being quiet, but with shoes on it wasn't easy. When they came to a clearing in the woods, Artemis signaled to stop and be still. She pointed to a spot where Karla could see nothing that looked like food. Artemis put an arrow on her bowstring very smoothly and slowly. Then she waited. And they waited some more. Then she pulled the arrow back and let it fly. That was easy. Like he was waiting for us. I'm sure. Artemis ran over to the bird. Are you recording? Yes, do you have anything to say? Hi. Show us the bird. Artemis held up the bird. Dinner. It's for my family, just so they know. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Christian. Hi, Carl. Karla laughed and put her smart device back in her jeans. She didn't get it out very often around Artemis. She always seemed so stunned. We'll pick up a few things on the way back and make something a bit spicy. Maybe some dandelions and burning nettles. Might need an apple. What do you think? Karla smiled. She knew it would be a sensation, even if there were things she would never think to eat in the meal. I think you are amazing. Oh, thanks. About what vegetables? I support whatever you decide. I don't know about making food. Artemis smiled and pulled the arrow out of the bird and handed it to Karla. She hesitated, but then took the dead bird by its feet.